Now, the greatest story never told with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, yes. Welcome to episode number 25 of The Greatest Story Never Told. At the beginning of this, they said if you guys get 25 episodes in, it'll be a miracle.
And they're absolutely right.
Yeah,
we almost didn't make it.
Here.
I will tell you this, for the first time ever, and I rarely do this. Hard to explain. Basically, we do what we do. When we're done, we move on, right? You just what's next? So last night, it's late at night. I admit that I got very, very, very high. And I put on a couple of episodes of this podcast to listen to what we actually do, because this might shock you. We never listen to what we do. Because like I said, you do it, you move on. I laughed my ass off, but I also realized, and Mikey left that, we are f***ed up. Like we're not okay people. No. It's very normal, but when I hear, it's one thing to tell a story. It's different when you kick back and you listen. And even though I know the story, I'm like, what is wrong with us?
The subject is how the hell? How the hell? Guys, I recently listened to The Greatest Story Never Told of New Orleans. I know you guys are incredibly awesome at your job, but how in the hell do you still have a job after all that crap? Your boss's boss's boss. Anyway, you guys are awesome. That from Jacoby, basically saying exactly what you're saying there, Steve.
Yeah, well, I responded to him and I said, look, in all honesty, we have asked ourselves that question many times over the years, but there's an inherent truth to it. This is just how we are, right? So you get some people to show up at work and they try to be difficult. We're not trying to be difficult. We just are who we are. This is how we operate. This is how we act. It is not weird to us.
Yeah.
And yes, as we get older and reflect on these things, we go, Jesus Christ, if our kids grow up to be like us, I'll kill them. But it's just truth.
Sure.
That's all.
Guys, I finally managed to listen to the latest episodes of The Greatest Story Never Told. Guys, that episode about Thrill and the Coke Loogie, hilarious. I was laughing so much I had tears in my eyes, and the music just made it 10 times better. I want more stories from Thrill.
No.
Like that all the time. Thanks for the laughs. You guys are awesome. That from Samantha. By the way, as far as our Greatest Story Never Told podcast, there might have been a commercial at the beginning of this podcast.
Yeah.
They are not our official sponsor. Our official sponsor is you, the listener. For the first time in 25 episodes, we do not have anyone who's donated any money to the Fisher House to be our official sponsor. So this week, our official sponsor is, in fact, the Fisher House. Give it up for the
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So we're going to do something here on episode 25 and honestly give you some original content, believe it or not, as we have this story today, and it comes from porn star Akira. And she
I thought
says,
it was Asa.
It's Asa, as in Asa. She has said she's going to donate her Pornhub income to hospitals in New York City. And at the time, it says a popular porn star has become the latest do-gooder in the battle against the coronavirus pandemic. Asa, who has 1.9 million followers.
I'm not one of them.
Wrote in an Instagram post, part of my Pornhub income this month will be donated to New York City hospitals as an incentive to help. Right now, if you join, I will send you a personalized thank you video.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah, and all that money's going to the hospitals in New York City. That is awesome. What a great idea. Here's the thing. It wasn't too long ago that we had the chance to interview Akira.
2016.
And I did not know a lot about her because I'm not really into the adult entertainment world.
He hits a different thumbnail.
Of pornography.
She's not a large black woman, so Miles wouldn't know.
I said, Steve, should we do this interview with Akira? I'm not familiar with this pornography. And he's like, Akira, are you kidding me? I went, all right, it's a green light. So, yeah, I never heard of her, never even looked at videos of her before that, knew nothing about her, although she had enough material where she was writing a book.
Yes.
Okay, well, believe it or not, as far as not knowing what you're getting into in an interview, Akira is incredibly intelligent.
She really is.
She's smart. She's nice. She is bright. She is everything that you think couldn't be possible in someone in that industry who does what they do. And there have been a few times where, what was the girl we had in who was from Montana? Dad was a doctor.
Wait, that Playboy chick?
No, she was a porn star. Remember, she was dating the guy. This was when we were in Baltimore. She brought in the dog. She was dating the guy.
Yeah, who was that? She had a dog, right? She had a dog.
She was dating like Evan Seinfeld.
Yeah, sorry. Tara something, wasn't it?
Tara Patrick.
Tara Patrick.
Another incredibly intelligent person.
Because Evan Seinfeld can kiss my ass.
Yeah, Biohazard, right?
Yeah, he's just as racist.
So anyway, so we don't know anything about the porn industry at all, but we want to talk to Asa about her new book that came out, and it was a great interview. She was very open. We aired the interview, and unfortunately, at that point in time, we had to bleep a lot of the content out. And if you did not hear
like
the first time
90%
we did the interview, here is a snip of basically how this thing
was on the air, on the radio.
This is what you heard. This is it.
But the first thing we read in the book, and we're dying of laughter in the office because you're very frank and very candid, but Miles opens the book, and the first thing is the marble. We had to edit this part.
Oh, yeah.
And we...
Or multiple ones, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's happened to me twice, and I don't even think I've learned my lesson because
Obviously.
I'm pretty sure
When you...
if someone came up to me right now with a check and told me to put them...
Yeah, you see what happens here. Because she's been waiting. How
Right.
much is the check? How much would it cost if they said, hey?
Well...
Yeah, and I mean, but the whole interview had to be that way.
Yeah, it
because
did.
one thing about her, one thing about people in the porn industry, just say, whatever you think, take it out of there. They're very open, honest people for obvious reasons.
Sure.
And she was a joy to talk to. Luckily, it was a pre-recorded interview, but as we're doing this interview, while it was great for us, I remember Miles even saying, maybe we shouldn't play the interview because no one is going to hear anything. The problem was we'd already told people we were going to talk to her, and this might shock you, Mike, when you say you're going to talk to a porn star, it is amazing how many people seem to get excited.
They do.
It.
And the weird thing about it is, too, is that as far as what we do, yeah, I mean, we get complaints on what we do, and we get people who say, like, why would you do this? Or why wouldn't you ever talk about the incident?
Because we're assholes.
Which, by the way, the incident is episode number 26. We're getting to that. But they always say, like, why, I just can't think of a time where people were more pissed off about an interview that we've done than this interview. And the reason was because so much of this interview was edited that people were furious. Like, why can't you play this? What is the deal? Like, we did the best we could. We aired what we could. And it was this line of, this is hysterical. The whole music's driving me nuts. All the comments that came in during the time.
Look, again, we had made the mistake of announcing the day before that, hey, on tomorrow's show, we're going to talk to Asa Akira. And I mean, it blew up. Oh, my God, guys, that's fantastic. So we'd already told you. We pre-recorded it. And again, Miles was like, this isn't worth playing on the air. And he was 100% correct.
No, I didn't say it wasn't worth it. I said the content was too much.
Yeah. But you were saying it wasn't worth playing once it's edited. That's the thing, because everyone is going to hear exactly what they ended up complaining about. Miles nailed it. So, look, we're going to play this thing, but it's all music. And I said, man, but we have to play something because we told people yesterday that we're going to talk to her, and we did, and they're excited. But this is the FCC regulations. This is the best we can do.
And granted, she's an author at this point. Mm-hmm. She put a book out. She's fun to talk to and all that. And we legitimately had the conversation that we'd like to have if it wasn't for the fact that the FCC is there. So, ladies and gentlemen, for the first time ever, what we're going to do is pick up on the point where we start talking about her book that was out. Keep in mind, she is donating all of her proceeds from Pornhub to the hospitals in New York City. At this point in time, some, as you would say, Mike, 4 years ago, she released a book. I don't believe we remember a lot of that conversation.
I don't.
But either way, we will leave you with this. On the 25th episode of The Greatest Story Never Told, you're actually going to hear the story that was never told. So we take you back in time, and we give you Asa Akira unedited.
But the first thing we read in the book, and we're dying of laughter in the office because you're very frank and very candid, but Miles opens the book, and the first thing is the marble in your asshole.
Oh, yeah.
And we...
Or multiple ones, maybe.
Yeah, well, it's happened to me twice, and I don't even think I've learned my lesson because
Obviously.
I'm pretty sure
When you...
if someone came up to me right now with a check and told me to put a marble in my asshole, I'd probably do it again.
Wait, how much is the check? How much would it cost if they said, hey?
Well, it would be my solo masturbation rate.
Wait, you have different rates for this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
There's different
break it
rates
down
for every sex act.
Do you have any nieces and nephews that you could just give marbles to over the holidays?
Well, in my defense, it wasn't just any old marble. It was like a little bit bigger than your,
what are your different rates
your average.
What are the
Marvel.
different rates for the different
it's
sex
different
acts?
for everyone. I mean, when you first get into porn, you can't charge, the premium because you're not known. You want to get your name out there. So you're not really like at that level yet. But then, once you become a name and you're a name that companies can sell,
Sure.
then that's when you can charge more. And like an anal rate, for example, is, can be up to like 2 or 3 times as much as your vaginal rate.
Is that the anal the most expensive, you think?
No, because there's DP, which is
Double
twice
the
that
action.
even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've
And
won.
then
your
You've won many awards for that, actually.
What are the different things, and then what's the most expensive thing you charge for? What's the least expensive? So if I said, look, I barely have any money, what's the least expensive thing?
The least expensive thing is probably a photo shoot.
Okay.
There's not a lot of money in photos, just because like the magazine business is dying,
Sure.
and you're not really doing anything.
So let me guess, what's next?
It's
Solo
actually
work?
the most boring. I wish I could charge the most for that because it's the most boring.
What if it's a photo shoot?
Probably softcore.
What if it's a
Softcore, you
photo
don't
shoot?
get a lot of money.
What if you're on a photo shoot and the photographer is attractive? Does that count as work with your deal?
Like
As far as your
my
husband's
husband goes,
Right, exactly.
I think that would fall under Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Oh, he's got a gray hoodie on.
I mean, a gray hoodie. It's over.
So what is next in your price range? So we say, okay, I got enough to cover a photo shoot. I have a little more money.
I'm guessing
So
solo.
maybe perhaps like a soft core shoot, which means no penetration, just like making out.
All right.
Okay.
And then a masturbation shoot. And then probably above that is probably lesbian.
Yeah,
but
there's
not
good money in that,
non-anal.
believe me.
So
Sure.
DP is the top of the mountain?
Gangbang probably.
All right. So
'Cause
that's a
after
really
DP,
expensive scene
It's more
then.
like every guy you add is like,
How much
little
do you
bit more
charge
money.
per guy? And then, is it just that you charge more per guy? But if you see a picture of the guy, that's the ugliest mofo I've ever seen in my
He's
life.
got to be charged double.
Right. I mean, seriously, because in the end,
I'm not
think
putting
that's
that anywhere.
That's a fair thing to say.
No.
There's going to be 6 guys, but 5 of them are butt ugly. I mean, I honestly think you could charge more.
No, I mean, of course, like every woman is entitled to charge however she pleases.
Sure.
Like if that's the scale she wants to charge on, then go ahead. Personally, I have the same rate for every guy, and if there's a guy I'm just not attracted to, he's just going to go on my no list.
Okay, but have you?
A list of
Okay,
guys
but
that I
Wow,
don't
that's
fuck
even
or
worse.
charge.
But also, has there been a time though where you were like, oh man, I can't believe I got to have sex with this guy? Like, there's nobody
Oh,
else in
yeah.
the world that I would rather have sex with than this
Is that
guy.
based on looks or personality?
No, definitely personality. I'm really lucky, and I think I'm perfect for porn because no matter what a guy looks like, I can pretty much find something I'm attracted to.
Oh, that's cool.
You just made
but-
every man
Right,
we
exactly.
know so happy.
Who are running out right now to buy a gray hoodie?
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. When all else fails, gray hoodie. But I mean, I think that's what makes me perfect for the job. But of course, there have been times where I just don't vibe with the guy at all. So on my way home, I'll call my porn agent and be like, I'm never working with that guy again. That guy's on my no list.
Does your porn agent want to be called a porn agent or just an agent?
That's interesting.
A lawyer.
I'm not
He
sure
wants to be
anyone
called a
has
lawyer.
ever asked him that.
I mean-
He's not a lawyer.
Okay.
It's not like Hollywood where the agents are,
I was surprised in the book also that there's a shot that some guys do and they put it right in their junk.
Mm-hmm.
What is that all about?
It's really rare, though. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like that's the norm.
No, but
at
it
all.
just
I mean,
blew my
all the
mind when
guys
I read
take
that.
Viagra, that's the norm.
Okay.
Sure.
Like they're all on it.
I was convinced of that, but I'm glad to hear you say it.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like some form of like whether it be Viagra or Cialis or whatever. No, they all definitely take some kind of enhancement.
Does that make you
But-
more impressed with the old school guys from the day?
Who
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
have
Like the
that?
Peter
Definitely.
Norths of the world, or the Ron Jeremys of the world, or the guys who just had to do 2 or 3 takes and just, cut that thing back up and get
Man
it
to
going.
man.
Right,
For
exactly.
sure. That's definitely really impressive. I mean, even with the Viagra and Cialis, it's still impressive because, like, Viagra or Cialis, it's not going to give you, like, an instant boner. You still have to be somewhat horny.
No, you provide that
and-
part.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
You got that
Yeah,
covered.
but I mean, you don't. Being a male performer is not an easy job. Like I I like to think of myself as a fairly sexual person, and I'm pretty giving.
No, there's nothing about that
But,
that we
that's
believe.
not always the case. Like, sometimes you're working with a woman who you're totally not attracted to. She does not want to be there. Like, you're having a bad day. Like, a lot of things can go wrong. And so even with the Viagra, it's not an easy job.
Do you see the porn industry ever turning back around to the point where there's more scripts, there's more of a storyline? It goes back to that old school way of, like maybe everything's in a hospital, or maybe, you know what I mean, it's an enchanted thing.
Well,
Is there anything? I remember there was like a $1 million porn back in the day, or whatever it was the most expensive porn
I think
ever.
it was Pirates.
That's exactly the one. And it was like the most expensive production set and all this crazy stuff. Do you ever think it'll get to that level?
Well, I'm exclusive to a company called Wicked Pictures, and we actually shoot a lot of features because our product is, it's a higher production value, it's higher budget, it's geared towards couples, more than just like, the guy on the internet. So we have scripts, we have plots, but I don't think there will ever be another $1 million project, just because, with piracy and everything, like the money's just not there anymore.
Right.
Well, I
Okay.
think part of it too,
Makes
just
sense.
the internet makes so many things available. It's different. We were growing up. I mean, porn. If you have the chance to see porn, it's because your buddy figured out something. There's a scheduled date. We were all going to meet. Now you can just go on the internet
same,
and
yeah.
800 million, and almost not that it cheapens it, but like part of what I enjoyed about growing up are the stories that you had about your pursuit of seeing your first naked woman or seeing your first movie. And now it's so available. I don't know. It's just, I always look at my kids and feel bad. Like, man, you'll never know the joys of what it was. I mean, honestly,
true.
it's a real pursuit that you undertook, because no matter who you are, biologically, it's something you want to experience. And it was a lot of fun
That's
to be
so
able to chase
true.
it down.
They're like robbed of that experience.
Oh, yeah. We used to sneak in the woods and stuff. Also, Akira, it's Dirty 30, a memoir. One more quick question. Do you ever do book signings?
I do. I just did a few in New York City. I actually did one in the Barnes & Noble that I used to work at. So
That's
that
crazy.
was really cool.
I would love to be a fly on the wall and just look at the people in line, because I'm sure it's just a who's who of everyone.
It kind of is. There's a lot of women, which is really exciting to me. And then I don't know, like, I mean, it's hard to get like a real kind of consensus because, of course, everyone claims they're not a porn viewer.
Right. But if you ever sign it
So,
at 505 films, has anyone dropped a DVD in front of you and asked you to sign it and you forgot you did that?
oh, that I forgot?
Well, you did 505 films. I just thought at some point in time you're like, I don't remember that.
Never.
Okay, so
No.
you remember everything you've been in.
I mean, if I off the top of my head, probably no. But if you showed me a photo from
Okay.
a shoot, I would absolutely remember it.
There he goes.
There you go.
What's
My
your
dog
dog
agrees.
Hey,
barking
Austin,
at?
we're going to let you go. We really appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And anytime you're ever up in Seattle, we'd love to have you on the show. It's Dirty 30, a memoir.
Thank
Thanks
you
so much.
so much.
All right, Austin. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to The Greatest Story Never Told with Miles and Thrill on radio.com.
A Double Flush production.